Funny for her.
Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master today. Today, we are kicking off a brand new campaign on the channel, playing Paizo's very cool science fantasy role-playing game, Starfinder. And with me this morning are the stars of the Sunday morning sessions. What I'll do, guys, is I'll go through. Now, what I was going to say is that for those listening at home, this was intended to be a session 0 where we're going to make our characters and whatever else. But all of the players were so much more on the ball than what I was that we pretty much have them together. So you guys will be able to provide the introductions of who you are and who you're playing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the order. I've got you guys on my screens here. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and maybe tell us a little bit about what your experience with Starfinder is as well. So start off, Kip.
Yes, my name is Kip. I am playing Agoba, who is a Yosaki mechanic. And I am a total Starfinder noob. This is actually the first time I've ever played. I've had the core rulebook since it came out, but never really had an opportunity to play. So I was looking forward to this.
Awesome. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what a Yosaki is?
So my character is, he's a little rat folk person. So he's about 3 foot tall, and he comes from a place in the Pact Worlds called the Diaspora. And so it's a series of asteroids, think like the Expanse. And that's where he's from, and he's worked on ships and robotic stuff.
Okay. Next up is Mo. Mo, I don't think your audio is not coming through. Are you muted on the Hangout, or are you set? Oh, still can't hear you. Whoa. I think that was Bugger. While Mo's wrestling with his mic, I will go over to Tom.
Hello, I'm Thomas, and I'm playing Zakros. He is a human priest, human mystic priest on Absalom Station, and he follows Pharasma, the Lady of Graves. And she's a goddess of birth, death, fate, and prophecy. Yeah, where I live on Absalom Station, I keep things going, and I make sure that people stay alive or stay dead, because I hate undead, and I don't really like the Eoxians, because they don't represent what my goddess stands for. And I love augmentations. So I hope that I can get loads of cyberware built into my body.
That's what's Rutger Hauer's character from Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah. No. That was Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Ingolf.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Vuldan. He's a Vesk warrior. Some would say a mercenary, but he doesn't see it this way. He's looking for a righteous cause to fight, and for worthy opponents to beat and challenge. And yeah, well, he's not the most intelligent creature, probably, and not the wisest, but he's strong and quick.
Okay. Tom and Ingolf, what's your experience with Starfinder so far?
I'm GMing Starfinder as well. I have a group, and we're playing the Dead Suns campaign, and we just finished the first book, and we are into the second, actually. They're level 3 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ingolf?
Yeah, I'm also DMing the exact same campaign, but we are still in the first book, and yeah, it's a nice game and a nice session so far. Cool. And we really like it.
And Mo, let's go back to you. You got your mic working?
Let's hope so.
Excellent. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I had to switch to the the cheap webcam one and not the expensive nice sound card I just bought.
Of course.
Okay, but I'm Morris or Mo. Again, like the others, I am actually running Starfinder. Get the microphone out of the way. But I've also had a lot of experience both with Pathfinder and also back in the days of the Traveller. In fact,
Nice.
the second or third system I bought was Traveller. So I'm also running the first adventure, and obviously I don't get to actually play as much as I'd like. I've got a character at second level in the SFS. So I'd be interested to see how it is as a player, because I've only really played about 3 times.
Okay, and last but not least is a returning star for the channel, is Brent.
Hey, I am playing a android technomancer who is also a xenoarchaeologist, sort of like Space Indiana Jones, but a bit more morally flexible. Everything does not need to go back to a museum, and it may have got this guy in trouble a bit in the past.
Did I see from, so Brent, you actually gave me a good segue from an email you had sent me before we went live too. Now, one of the things that we often do with our campaigns is we cast the characters in the movie version of our campaigns. And Brent, I think you already did the casting for this character, didn't you?
Yeah, I found a really cool picture of him and a guy in a spacesuit with a pistol and a sword. But
that's actually not the one that I was particularly interested in.
Okay, yeah, the other one. I think if you pull off the mask, it kind of looks like I don't know, middle-aged David Bowie. I sort of thought of when I was making a character for this, sort of thought of Space Oddity, and Major Tom came to mind. So
yeah,
hence the name of the character. So and why he's an android, he sort of goes out of his way to look more human. Androids in this have glowing circuitry that sometimes that glows through their skin. He suppresses that, and he's a bit evasive about his background, but he's happy to do work as an engineer or a pilot or whatever is needed on the ship. And yeah, he's generally friendly, slightly evasive, and really bad at reading people.
Okay. Now, for the other guys, have you given some thought to who would play your characters in the movie version of our campaign?
So my guy's more like Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy.
So it's voice acted by Bradley Cooper.
CGI. It's a CGI character. So.
Yeah. Is it the same, like, is it Bradley Cooper who's doing the voice for Goba, or is it someone else?
Oh, I don't know. Whoever the actor is, it does it in Guardians of the Galaxy. So.
That would be Bradley Cooper.
Oh, okay.
How about Mo? Do you have an idea who would be playing Cat, or is it JT or Cat?
Either. JT is just a shout out to a very old cyberpunk. I should have really said the characters. I'm actually playing a drow, who came from Aposte and was a refugee from a very young age, and grew up on the down below, which is the less salubrious parts of the station. So effectively, he grew up on the streets with other kids on the run, effectively. So I was thinking Keanu Reeves.
Awesome.
Or at least I suspect he thinks he looks like Keanu Reeves. He might look more like Cisco Ramon from The Flash.
Okay.
But it's actually because I saw the trailer for John Wick, and it's very cyberpunk, lots of neon, and I now want a motorbike for my character. If you've seen the trailer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, but obviously in the drow, light purpley skin.
Yeah.
Possibly lighter hair.
In blackface.
I think possibly the more lighter skinned version
for
of
sure.
drow rather than the full.
Okay, and Thomas, do you have an idea who might be playing Zakros in the film version?
Yeah, the basic concept actually was that kind of Dolph Lundgren plays this character, that super brutal Jesus figure. But But let's see how that works out. No, I don't know. Let's see what it's.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, and Ingo, how about you? Do you have an idea yet of who would play Volden?
Probably I would take Batista, who plays Drax, the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy, and have him have a big face mask to make him more reptilian.
Nice. Okay, so
I was just going to add a little bit. So about my character, he just a couple of habits. He smokes, and while he looks like Bowie, he sort of comes across as like a synthetic from the Aliens movies, sort of just not slightly off. And he wears a necklace with the symbols of Desna, Trune, and Whedon.
Okay. Okay. So guys, let's first we'll tackle the issue of the character sheets. So here, Goba. Do you have an image for Goba that you kind of dig? Kip.
I don't. I wouldn't even know.
Don't. Okay. Actually, you know what? Give me a sec here, because I recently ran half of a Starfinder one shot. I actually have a bunch of assets loaded. One of which is a Saki, and we can, if we find a better one. For him, we can replace that later. Let me see. Oh, but it's not displaying properly right now. Let me see if it. Oh, hold up here. Oh, it's not displaying. Dag nabbit. Wonder if I erased it by accident. Well, in any event, I did have a good image for him, but unfortunately, it is gone. If you have one in the interim, I can between now and the next session, I can upload that. But so the Roll20 character sheets, guys, are normally what we do is we go through and we talk about the point selections and things like that. But that's all done already. So let's just make sure we've got our character sheets functioning, and then we'll talk about the kind of like the backstory leading up to this, how you guys came together as a crew. And what I'm going to suggest is we actually, in the Cypher system, it's a completely different game. So, and to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it does have one neat thing in the character creation where it creates links with other characters. And what I think we could do is go through and come up with some of those connections and then figure out, use that to sort of randomly generate some backstory around the characters. I mean, roughly random. You guys will obviously have input. Now, I know Brent's character sheet and Mo's character sheet are fully functioning right now. Let's see here. Volden, how is yours? Did you have any difficulty getting all the little abilities?
Well, I at some point I cheated because the Vesk has these armor bonus, so I just enhanced my armor by 1 in order to have this armor bonus.
Okay, so the way that you do that is actually if you add in, so we go to add an ability.
Yep.
And let's see here. If you go to mods, so what's the name of the ability that the Vesk has?
It's called Armor Savant. So it's like
Armored Savant. Is this from the Soldier Career or from the Vesk?
No, from the Vesk.
Oh, from the Vesk. Okay. So let's see here. Vesk. All right. So there's two ways. There's the attacher. Let's see, Armored Savant, and source is Vesk. Okay, and it's +1 racial bonus to all things. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you're always wearing armor.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bother adding the description just yet because it's not something that we're going to have to worry about. Did that add 1 to your armor?
Yes, and I will get rid of the other.
Perfect. So the way that you do this, guys, is if you go into each of your whatever your abilities are, there's a subcategory you can go into called mods, and in the mods is where you enter plus whatever, like whatever your modifier is. If there's a minus, like Brent, you'll notice that your Android, that's where I added the penalty for sense motive.
Okay.
So, and this is just for when we go forward, that's where you'll be adding those things in. If you gain new abilities, if you gain levels, if you gain weapons and things like that. And even the mods, that's the way you do that, is they have a specific way of phrasing it, but it's pretty easy to pick up on. It's just attribute or save or the skill. So EAC, KAC, you just need to enter those separately. Otherwise, that's pretty much how you enter all of these abilities. Let's see here. Volden's got no spells. Thomas, how are Zakros's spells looking?
The spell's looking fine.
Okay.
I put everything in there.
Awesome.
And yeah.
That's fun. You guys are spoiling me. I'm
yeah. I put all the description, everything in there. So I didn't find any difficulties or problems. So it might be all okay.
Okay, so guys, let's talk about roles on the start. Well, let's do this. Let's do the how we're going to get the crew together. So first off, do we have an idea of who is the captain? Who's going to be playing the role of the captain of the ship? How about who is not going to play the captain?
Yeah. Who's good with diplomacy?
Not.
or intimidate or bluff. Yeah. See, somebody posted earlier on that we need the roles for the Starship, and I put points into piloting and in computers.
Okay. So piloting computers, that means you could be science, gunnery, or pilot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any inkling towards who owns the ship or who is in charge?
I'm sort of trying to keep a low profile, so being something like a captain or anywhere his face might be broadcast or is probably not the role Tom would take.
How about Volden? How is I know Volden is the well, hold on. What is everyone's theme? I know yours is xenoarchaeologist, Brent. Yours is mystic, Tom. Yours Kip, yours Koba is
no, my team is priest.
Oh, priest.
I'm a mystic. I'm a mystic priest, and my profession is a smuggler.
Kat, you're pretty good, Mo, you're pretty good at engineering, right?
Yeah, because he's a scholar and he's well, possibly not good as a purely mechanic. I'm not quite sure what we've got. So initially, I was thinking either engineer or science officer. But in terms of bluff and intimidate, I'm 6 and 5.
So engineering actions use the engineering skill, and I think you got a decent engineering score, don't you?
Yeah, 11.
Oh, fuck yeah. So yeah, I think
operatives do tend to have skills out of the.
Oh, we got them.
Yeah, I was building the character, and I think, what more skills?
Yeah. Goba, what are your strong suits?
So I'm a mechanic, so I have a lot of those computers, engineering, that kind of stuff. I don't have an 11. I have like a 9.
Okay.
In those.
What's your piloting like?
Ooh, actually, I think I'm a decent pilot. I got to put some what's in that. Okay, Mr. Pilot.
Does anybody have any skills in intimidate or in?
Yes, me.
Yep. Okay, so Bolden, maybe I think you are the captain.
But that's like using the dumbest person on the ship to be the captain. Probably he doesn't know that he's the good captain.
Okay, what is wait, his one of his scores I saw was an 8. Was that intelligence or wisdom?
That was intelligence, yes.
Okay, so that's genius. I mean, you can insert any kind of politician joke here, but leaders do not have to be smart. They just have to be charming. Okay, so I'm going to assume, guys, unless you tell me otherwise, that Volden is the one who serves as the captain on the ship. Kat or JT serves as the engineer, which leaves science, gunnery, and piloting. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think everyone can jump in. We've only got, well, depending on the ship, we may.
Why don't we do this? Who is the strongest with piloting?
5'6".
I'm
at 5.
I5.
Of the people who don't have roles yet, is what I mean.
All right, sorry.
6.
That's okay. Brent, what's your piloting?
Piloting's 5. The other strong suits would be computer 8, or life sciences is also 8. I think there's a science thing.
So I think Goba, are you cool being the pilot?
Sure.
Okay, so Goba is the pilot, which means Zachros and Tom. Between the two of you guys, who's got the higher piloting skill?
I5.
Yeah, we're tied.
Okay, so guys,
I'm happy to be jack of all trades, fill in wherever I can be.
Brent, we don't need that. We need you guys. There's 2 more roles on the ship. We need you to pick for the 2 you're filling. Because when we get to, you'll see, guys, when we get to, and forgive me for those who've already played Starfinder, but when you get into Starship combat, it's like the Fantasy Flight Star Wars, Brent, where everyone needs to have a know what their roles are, because we'll go through the turn sequence and you'll pick your actions during that turn, and it's important that you know what you're doing. Okay, so I guess it's up to you guys, Zachros or Tom. Which of you guys would be the gunner? Which of you guys would be the science officer?
What was
the 2 left over are science officer and gunner. Gunner uses piloting or your basic attack, and science officer uses computers.
Doesn't it only use the ranks?
I've got an 8 in computers. What's
I5 there too, yeah. But wasn't it like that only the ranks are important?
The ranks are what triggers better options.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's for doing the skill checks, it's computer skill check or the piloting skill check.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right that, like, as you go up in levels, there's certain like tactical options that unlock as you reach certain ranks in them. Right now we're trying to find bare minimum of competency across the ship.
Well, you can actually jump between roles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
as well. So, because obviously we may have more than one gunner.
Yeah,
one gun.
I'm fine with everyone switching as we go, but I'd like to at least know so that when it comes to certain person's phase, that we know who's doing what to start with. So, if you guys can't decide, why don't we just do this? Each of you roll a d20. Whoever's highest, you're the science officer.
All right.
what's your bonus in science?
In science,
not science, computers. Computers.
Oh, sorry, computers. My bad.
Yeah, total is 5. Yeah.
My science, my computer story is 8. So if I could do that, and I think our piloting is tied. So
yeah,
there we go. So Zachros, you're the gunner. Tom, you are the science officer. Now, again, you can change afterwards, but just for now, we're going to assume that's where you guys have sort of ended up. Now, the campaign will start. There's 2 things that will link us into the Against the Aeon Throne Adventure Path that we're playing. One thing is that you guys, we know that you're going to start in the campaign operating a cargo ship delivering cargo to this colony out in the vast. And we know that it will be starting at Absalon Station. And we know that you guys have met this android named, what's her name? Sedona. Cedona. And this is what she looks like.
Yeah.
I'll load her image into the Roll20 once we actually kick the campaign off properly. But there's a bunch of different ways that you guys could have met her. She's got kind of an interesting backstory, but I'm going to keep it a secret for now. And what I'd like to do now is talk about how you guys all came together. So what I've got from you guys so far that I remember is that JT was living in the kind of down below in or whatever the shittiest part of Absalom Station is, and he had a from his formative years there, you spent it with a Nuar, which is kind of like a sci-fi minotaur, who was your Fagin, right? Who ran the kind of like youth gang that you grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, does anyone else have any kind of like firm kind of story elements in mind for how their characters came to where they are now?
Sort of. Firm as in, Tom was looking for a ship that was leaving the Pact Worlds and was happy to take whatever employment or role on the ship.
That's fine, but not leaving the Pact Worlds for good, though, right?
Right. No, but just temporarily going out for now.
Okay. Now, Brent, I think, did you say that you wanted to, at level 2, you want to go into the Arcanarium Scholar?
Right.
Okay, so then you need to have some way of having a connection to the Arcanarium then.
All right.
So for those who are unfamiliar, and I guess first off, for those who have played Pathfinder or Starfinder already, do you guys know what the Arcanarium is?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so it's from my understanding, it's a legacy from Pathfinder. Basically, it's like the magic college that's present, or the biggest and most impressive one in Absalom Station. So they, what Brent's going to take is a guy who really is devoted to the study of magic, not just picking up the magical skills, but actually learning about magical items and things like that. Is that consistent with your understanding, Brent?
Yeah, he that's what sort of his academic background, I'd say, would be.
Okay, so now if you want to have that linked to some other kind of magical school, that's cool too. But my reading of the archetype is that it's specifically linked to some kind of organization.
Yeah. Okay. I get the same.
Now, what you could do, Brent, is there what is it that you don't need to have specifics, but is there a reason you sort of fell into trouble here?
Yeah, I don't think he would have necessarily mentioned to his crewmates, but he's fascinated with the past. He's a xenoarchaeologist, and he's just really not good at reading people. So to make some money, he might have sold something to the wrong people and overstated the value of it, and then they got mad, and they might have been connected to a bad organization, and then he decided, you know what, it's really prudent to leave Absalom Station and probably the Pact Worlds and take a break for a bit and keep a low profile.
So what's the link to the Arcanarium then?
That's where he would have got his training from. He would work for them. He would have gone and digs with them, sort of like a professor role.
Okay. So you're sort of the what's the scandalized ex-student?
Yeah, he did some freelancing to make some money, and it didn't go over well.
Okay.
There were some complications.
Okay. How about the other guys? Anyone else have any ideas about their kind of story elements, about their backstory?
So I always start with location.
Okay.
For me, and so I'm from the diaspora, specifically from Broken Rock, which is the pirate base in the diaspora. I'm not really a pirate per se, but more of like a pilot, engineer, etc. And there's a large Isoki population there, and so we're pretty chaotic, and so I got bored, and so I wandered, and that's how I ended up in Absalom Station. I just took a lift on a ship.
Okay. Volden, finding a Vesk soldier who's not only present in Absalom Station, but also operating a cargo hauler. How does that happen?
Well, probably I was talked into it and I didn't realize.
The easily bamboozled Volden.
Yes. So my idea would be, so there are these other people, and I think someone else could have just thought it was a good idea to have a ship and a captain, and just needed my character as like a straw man to just make it happen and to be the muscle in front of it. So Goba would be probably a good idea or something like that. So someone who might like to have someone big in front of him.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. talked
JT,
really fast and I confused you.
JT it seems like a pretty clever cat.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of, scam that he might run?
Well, that would sort of work with what I thought about my background.
Okay, because what you could have, Volden could have just easily gone along with, maybe he was working as muscle or something like that on Absalom Station, and you saw the opportunity to do that, but didn't want yourself as the face of the operation, as it were.
Yeah, because he's been very reticent about what really happened. You get the impression that things went bad and he needed to not be around the station anymore. So maybe, basically, we stole a ship at some stage.
Okay.
Well, you told me that was all legal, and I'm now the righteous captain.
Oh,
I love it.
Legality on Absalom Station is a bit variable. It depends who you pay and how good your lawyers are.
Okay.
There are some areas where it's effectively criminal.
Okay.
Run it. It's not.
I
A lot of
cannot
people think it's a
imagine.
unified thing with the stewards ruling
Yeah.
with a rod of iron, and it's actually quite fragmented.
Yeah, there's parts of Absalom Station that are way more Blade Runner than they are Star Trek. What about Zakros? So what's brought Zakros onto this crew?
I was also living in the lower parts of Absalom Station, and because I'm dealing with the smuggling business as well, I know shady people, and I might have annoyed somebody who stole something from my church and left Absalom Station. It's a really important item, and I have to get it back.
Okay.
And that's my kind of backstory, how I came off Absalom Station.
Okay.
How I left Absalom Station then.
So I know that, let's see here. I think Tom and Zakros and JT are effectively from Absalom Station originally. Yeah. Is Volden part of that second generation or first generation of Vesk?
Yeah, he could be, yeah. So he could be from Absalom Station as well.
Okay, cool. So he actually has he been to the Veskarium?
No.
Okay, cool. So what's his feeling of? I know he's fallen into the soldier profession, which is sort of like the archetype of what you think of a Vesk, right?
Yeah.
Or what at least the Pact Worlds would think of. What is it kind of like a Sturm Brightblade situation where he's got this idealized view of what the Vesk are?
Absolutely. So everything is great because he has never been there. So these are the greatest soldiers in the galaxy, and
yeah, that's awesome. So, what about Goba? So Goba ended up in Absalom Station. What is it that sort of? It sounds like everybody had some reason to be like, I can't be here anymore, and someone else at the table was like, yeah, I can't be either. So, what do you think brought Goba into this mix?
I think he's just chaotic and just sort of took a ride on a ship. They needed somebody. He ended up at the station, started looking for a job.
Okay.
I'm not really running from anybody, but
okay.
I go where the winds of space take me.
Nice. So did you come with the ship when they got the ship, or did you join the crew afterwards?
I think I probably would have joined afterwards.
Okay, cool. So it wasn't
on the station.
This is our ship now. You're like, all right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So let me think here. So Brent, you think that your character sold something to someone that was undervalued?
I think he misread something either intentionally or by accident. He tried to overvalue the worth of something, and it's got him into some trouble with people connected to some form of organized crime.
Okay.
And it became obvious that it would be prudent to leave unless you could come up with a sum of money.
Okay, so what do you guys think of if I tie Tom and Zakros' story together? That what ended up happening was there was something that was stolen from you, Zakros, that Brent, you thought you were buying, and you actually did not buy what you thought you were getting and transferred it on. So there's one party that thought they were getting some kind of, mystic artifact or some other kind of piece of history that you didn't sell them, so they're pissed at you. And also, Zakros wants to know where the fuck this thing ended up, because the thing you thought you were buying ended up in some third party.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, very good.
Okay. So I think it might have, well, I think it's going to definitely have something to do with pre-gap history. And I think that it will have something to do with, probably with Lost Golarion.
Okay.
If that's cool with you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, I don't think Goba's been too new to the place. Kat and Volden. Well, I guess first off, do you have a name in mind, Mo, for the Noir, who was sort of your?
Yeah, I was thinking Jubal.
Jubal. Okay, love it.
Which is quite an old reference if anyone's getting it. Yeah. It's that sort of character. But I
think it's a relatively old reference as far as Firefly. Then it's a really fucking old reference because that's a reference to the Civil War.
I thought it was a reference to a Robert Heinlein story.
Yeah.
But he may have referenced the Civil War back then. But
yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So effectively, he's a bit out of character because he's a bit reticent. But it's a bit like Oliver. I'm imagining the gang.
Okay. So JT is like that, and then
and something went horribly wrong, and he couldn't really be around the station anymore. And I think the backstory is you've noticed a picture of a human female in his cabin, and it looks like the crew they hung with broke up.
Okay. Now, did JT cross Jubal, or did he fail to do something for Jubal?
No, I think something bad went down and Jubal ended up dying.
Okay.
Or was I think that it's a sort of a dead mentor sort of thing, rather than that he wasn't a bad guy. He's not the Bill Sykes type character.
Right.
But something happened that he doesn't want to talk about. He shuts it down. He does admit that he used to have a crew he used to run with.
Okay.
And they split up. They were going to go together, but due to racism for drows, he sort of implied they were going to sign up with the Skyfire Legion. I was imagining it's a bit like the French Foreign Legion.
Yeah, totally.
That people go to get a new identity. So I think there was like a sort of effectively illegal gang. When effectively he spec'd out as a hacker. Okay. That's the specialization. So he was like very cyberpunk. So he's effectively a Decker stroke solo mix.
Okay.
So something went horribly wrong, and I think maybe the way off the station was forging the papers of the ship or obtaining it somehow, possibly with some of the other characters. So we did that maybe a couple of years ago.
Sure. And where I think maybe the motivator for why you're off the station then, or like the reason you're trying to get away, is one of the other sort of like orphans, orphans. And actually, I like the idea of Orphans of Absalom, if you're okay with that as the name.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Orphans of Absalom are actually led by a rival of yours from back in the day.
Yeah. Initially, I thought maybe the Downside Kings, but it could be just as well another gang who I've crossed. And staying permanently on the station is not a good idea. If I'm on a ship, I can stay out in orbit. I don't have to actually go on the station very much.
Yeah. No, I'm good. You guys go ahead. Okay. So I think maybe we don't know what the story is yet, but I think Kat or JT, Volden, and Tom, I think you guys pulled that heist together that led to the stealing of Zakros's thing.
Yeah, what heist? Yeah. There was no heist. It was always.
It was just resting in your.
Yes, you told me what to do. I did it. Everything's all right.
So Goba, you got you went with the option for a drone, right?
Actually, I was going to do I changed my mind. I was going to do, and I factored that in, the exocortex.
Exocortex instead. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then you don't need to describe your drone for me. So let's see here. What else do we need to know to start with? Brent, your spell cache, what does that look like?
I don't know. I was thinking of maybe making it, because it could be anything. I was wondering if it could be an implant on his arm that sort of glows on the inside of his, like, sort of the inside of his forearm, and then he would just, the patterns would glow through his skin.
Sure. Let's see what. I think that's fine, because I think it can just be like tattoos.
But if you know, I can always do a non-implant physical.
Yeah, that's fine. Symbols such as a brand, tattoo, or other permanent modification to your body.
Okay.
Okay. That's cool. All right. Let's see here. What else do we need to do? Let's take a look at the random connection stuff here. And I'm just going to keep flipping through until I find one that fits one of our characters here, and then we'll roll and talk about oops, Battle Robots, nope. There we go. Kip, why don't you give me a D4 roll, please?
Anyone or?
Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry, Brent, give me a D4. Wrong. I forgot that Kip doesn't have, or Goba doesn't have a character, but we'll use that for your roll, Kip. Brent, give me a D4 roll, please.
Okay.
4. Uh-oh. Brent, oh no. I should tell you guys, too, that Brent's last character in one of our campaigns was eaten by giant toads off screen. So hopefully this one will bode better.
I rolled high. Isn't that usually a good thing?
Okay, so 4. Pick one other PC. Ever so often, when you cast a spell, that character later reacts as if she or he had an allergic reaction. Doesn't know the cause of the affliction, but you do. You're still debating whether to tell her or just let her suffer in ignorance while you work on a spell to cure the condition. Does that sound interesting to you, or you want to roll again?
That could be fun.
Okay. So who has a weird, and it doesn't need to be an allergic reaction like sneezing or shit like that. Like maybe someone gets a minor migraine or something like that, or you know, they feel an itch.
Who wants to role play that out with me?
Resounding silence.
No one wants to be irritated.
Roll the die again. I mean,
yeah, Brent, give me a D4 and we'll pick which character.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
3. 1, 2, 3. Thomas. Oh, your fates are bound together. Maybe that's why you want to go along with this, because there's a weird interaction with his sorcery when you're near him.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that you're an operator or a mechanic?
I'm a mystic.
Mystic.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because our two brands of magic are slightly different, or something like that. And then,
what are you again?
I'm a technomancer.
Technomancer. All right. And
Thomas, what brand of mystic are you? Like what specialty?
I'm a healer.
Healer. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thomas, then you're going to be up next. Give me a D4 roll, please.
Okay. Let's check this out there.
3. Okay.
Did I okay. Already? Hang on.
Oh yeah, rolled a couple times.
Okay, sorry about that. The first
okay.
roll then. Yeah.
Okay, so pick one or more PCs. You say a prayer for them each and every day. They may or may not know or care that you're doing so. So is there someone you think that you say a prayer for every day? And Pharasma is your goddess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say a prayer, and I hope that person doesn't become an undead.
That actually happened to Brent's character. Why don't you give me another D4 roll? Let's see which character it'll be.
Yeah.
And it can be more than one as well. A 2. 1, 2. It's JT.
Okay.
That's interesting. So this, street kid turned hacker. Why is it that you say a prayer for him every day?
Oh, well, drow being evil, I would imagine. Might have something to do with it.
Good Lord, save us from him.
I'm not actually an evil in alignment.
He is a drow, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's a drow operative. He's a hacker.
Okay. Yeah, I find him a little bit suspect, yeah, because I learned that Drow are usually evil, yeah, and I hope that his past doesn't overtake him, that he, not his past, but his racial past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so this is stuff that the characters don't know, but what Mo has said about JT. JT was actually destined as basically he was groomed to be a specific ritual. He was something that was destined for some demon prince or demon princess somewhere.
okay.
So there could have been a quite important fate that was destined for him, and maybe you're hoping that and you may not know this either. Like it could be that you're just assuming it's his racial thing, not realizing that there's a specific element about this dude that is, that someone somewhere there's an unsatisfied demon lord that is just like.
Yeah, all right. Now I was thinking that maybe I keep praying that Lolth stays away from him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm not sure whether Lolth exists in this.
Yeah, Lolth doesn't. You know what? I was.
But something like it must do.
I'm fine with if you guys want it, Lolth to be that. That's fine. It's not. There's like a multiple.
Oh, we have. Hang on. What kind of chaotic evil gods do we have here?
You could. I'm fine with adding stuff. It's a big bad multiverse. So if there is something that's out there, and actually, you know what? I have something in mind thanks to the most recent, at the time of recording, the most recent Paizo kind of podcast thing was about the Plane of Shadow in Starfinder, and it's fucking awesome. There's so much cool stuff there. So if it's something linked with that, I mean, the Drow have this very kind of dark, whatever, association anyway. That could be something, and maybe your prayer is to, as you say, like to hide it. It's a warding prayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And if anything I'm suggesting is not kosher with what you guys see as your character, feel free to tell me, no, I want something different. So that's just to be.
No, that would work really well. I mean, I've actually got the adventure path for that. And also, I just noticed Drow don't have damage resistance in this universe. So I'll have to adjust my character sheet.
Okay, so Mo, is that cool with you?
Yeah, that would work quite well.
Okay, and Thomas, does JT know, or do you kind of do it secretly?
I've more or less said I grew up on Absalom. So I think he left. This is out of characters. You wouldn't notice in the game. He left when he was, I suppose, 14, 13 in Drow terms.
Is there
in human terms?
Is there someone who helped him escape?
I was thinking maybe a sister or a female relative that didn't agree with me. Something, and she left, and that sort of works with my character's walk-on song.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's cool. Then Mo, let's roll for JT. Give me a D4 roll, please.
Hang on. How does this work? Roll.
Oh, sorry. It's a / roll 1d4.
Yeah, that's it.
2. Okay, so pick one other PC. No matter how hard you try, you cannot seem to hide from them. So why don't you give me a D4? It'll be either Volden or Goga.
I don't know. I think it would work better for the character that's praying for me.
Maybe it's Volden.
Because he's obviously twigged something that maybe I don't realize.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if it's, because you like to give a connection between you and Volden, like why you guys fell in together, is that like from the sounds of things, you're a super stealthy dude. You hang in shadows, you wear your mirror shades and stuff like that. And Volden just seems to always be able to find where you are. Nice.
Yeah.
So whatever this fairly thick and easily bamboozled Vesk, in spite of your efforts, he seems to always be able to be like, "Hey, JT, over here." Like, not to fuck you up your stuff, but just to be, for whatever reason, this dude seems to always be able to track you down, see you, and stuff like that. Is that okay?
Some sort of a weird, spooky connection, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And you could even take that to a what do you call it, metaphorical kind of way, that he may be the only one who truly sees you too.
Yeah, because he's quite a private person, so he hasn't really said anything about how he came to the station.
Okay.
Or really what happened with his mentor.
And how does Volden feel about that?
Yeah, well, it's pretty normal. I can't understand why other people can't find him. He's there. I mean, just look.
Okay.
There could always be some Vesk sense that you have that other races don't.
Yeah, but I can see in the dark. That could help, actually.
Okay. Then Volden, why don't you give me a D4 roll, please?
D4.
4, nice. Pick one other PC. This person recently mocked your combat stance. How you deal with it, if at all, is up to you. And I think that leaves Goba. So Goba at some point mocked your combat stance.
Yeah, that would be, I mean, that is ridiculous, because such a small creature, I mean, just, no. I couldn't even care about it. But in truth, I do care, and I'm very annoyed about that.
What do you know about this? He knows everything.
When you fall down, you gotta get up faster.
That's awesome. Okay. And then, let's see here. Kip, you rolled a 3 at the outset, right?
I think did I roll a 3? I can't even remember. That was a 1, actually.
Oh, was it a 1?
Pretty sure it was. But it's so long ago. Yep, it was a 1.
Okay, sweetie. And me. My dog's saying hi to someone on the street. Okay. Now, let's see here. It's do you see yourself leaning more towards the piloting shtick or towards the working with machines shtick?
I had thought more with the machines, but the piloting thing is cool too. You know, like the Han Solo-y.
Sure.
You know,
so here's
or the Rocket Raccoon. You know.
Okay. Then
I'm cool with the piloting thing.
So you pick one other PC, which will be Tom. Tom promised Goba a trip anywhere that you wanted to go in a starship, and Tom hasn't yet taken you up on your offer. Hold on, what is this here? Pick one. Oh, you promised it. So you promised Tom that you take him anywhere.
Hey.
Like you can fly anywhere, you can go and do anything and whatnot too. You promised him that a trip anywhere they wanted to go on your starship, and he has not yet taken you up on that offer.
Probably saving that one in the back pocket.
Okay.
Keep thinking about it. Let me know.
Yeah.
We can go. Okay.
All right. So we know sort of what everyone is, how everyone's sort of connections are. So you guys have been flying together for about maybe 2, maybe 3 years. So you're familiar enough with each other. I'm going to suggest one thing, that you guys, one of the reasons you guys have been hitting the vast is to try and pick up tidbits of information of where that relic went, because you do know that it's someone with a strange accent who spoke common, a humanoid who took that. They were the one who purchased it. You know, like the ubiquitous kind of mysterious foreigner. You know, in what do you call it? In 30s or 40s films, someone purchased something and disappeared with this artifact, and you guys have been trying to find maybe some information about this. I think what you likely have found is that in your travels, that the accent that this person speaks seems consistent with what you now know to be Aslanti, and what you guys know about the Aslanti Empire right now is basically what's set out in the core rulebook. And let me just flip to that quickly.
So I'm imagining someone like Peter Lorre.
Yes, totally. Yes. So for those of you who haven't played with me before, I am terrible at doing voices, but I love doing them. So you can thank Mo for my terrible Peter Lorre impression. All right. So what you know is that several years ago, the Pact Worlds made first contact with the Aslanti Star Empire, and they basically blew up the ship that tried to make first contact, and they have refused. Let's see here. Yeah, any ship that's gone into the Aslanti Star Empire has not come back, and it seems like the Aslanti Star Empire wants nothing to do with the Pact Worlds. So I think that has probably been lurking around in the back of your mind. You know as well that the Aslanti seem to have some kind of sprawling empire that you sort of hear about through third-hand sources of people you've met in the vast. And yeah, that's how much you know about that. Let's see here. What else? Sedona, this woman. So I am going to take a look at the adventure here. Now, what do you see your kind of the life of your crew so far? Have you guys like, is it sort of like a Firefly type situation where you're just like living paycheck to paycheck, running cargo and stuff like that? Or do you, at the start of the adventure, you're going to be running a cargo for Abadar Corps? And for those at home or for those who are unfamiliar, Abadar Corps is basically what you get when you have a church devoted to capitalism that operates a mass-producing corporation. So it's either a nightmare or like a really easy employer. And one of the things that Abadar Corps has been doing over the last couple of years is seeding colonies out in the vast, finding different place. And where you guys will be headed in the first camp or first adventure is a place called Nakondis. And you guys have been to Nakondis before. There is a settlement there called Madelon's Landing. And I'll say, or is that right? Yeah. So you guys are running out. You have will have met the basically the administrator of the colony is a priest of Abadar named Madelon Kessi, and this is what this dude looks like. He is a Lashunta, and again, I'll load all this stuff into the handouts and stuff like that between now and the next session. I won't be holding up shit to the camera, but we know that you're doing that, and I think you've been there at least once before. And I think that the reason that you guys have this contract is thanks to a android named Sedona that you guys had met at some point. So Sedona, do you guys have any thoughts as to like how you want to have a connection to her? I've got a bunch of suggestions here too, but if you guys have ideas for a point in your character's life where they would have met this person. She has retired to the colony on Nakondis, and that's sort of what set you up with this contract. So I imagine there's some useful contact you guys have had with her at some point. What do you guys think?
Well, maybe I did a job for her, either on the hacking side, or the other specialty he does is an armorer. So effectively he's into you're repairing and building weapons. So whether she had, what actually did she used to do? Was she slightly sketchy or an adventurer?
A little sketchy. So what she did, I like the idea of the job. So I think what happened, guys, is at some point she hired your crew. She maybe you met her in sort of the seedier places, either the seedier chat rooms on the infosphere or the seedier ports on Absalom Station, and I think maybe in trade for a little intel about something, like about maybe the location of the artifact or a place to track down, she has, and pay, because I mean you guys have to eat. You guys ran kind of a job for her, which would have involved like probably some infiltration, probably some hacking, maybe a little beaten heads as well.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yes, Volden approves. Okay. And let me see here. Oh, you know what it'll be is the Aspis Corporation, I think, is the consortium. Aspis Consortium, is that what it's called? It's sort of like a go-to evil mercantile threat. Aspis Consortium. It's a big criminal corporation. Maybe there was some. Maybe Aspis Corporation was also had a colony, and they needed you guys to like get intel on this place. That sound okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you maybe. Oh, what's that, Brian?
So long as it pays.
Yeah, I think you guys have you've been able to keep this boat in the air, and Mo suggested the name Liberator 2. Are you guys down with that?
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, that was just a placeholder because it's actually a slight reference to the sort of the character concept.
Okay.
But that's a very British science fiction concept if you've heard of Blake 7.
Okay.
But it was just really to me to put a name. The other one I liked was Solar Queen, which is Andre Norton.
Okay.
But I don't know what people felt.
Either of those work. I will throw out Galactic Space Dragon because that was a beer I drank last week, and like based on the name, I thought it was cool. But either of the other two names work fine. I just had to throw in the beer somehow.
Okay.
I was considering Dragonkin as a special theme, but I didn't take it in the end.
So what do we think, guys? What are we calling the ship?
What were the options again? There was the Liberator.
Yeah.
And then there was the Solar Queen.
Solar Queen?
What was the middle one? There was 3 options.
Was it Solar Queen? Is that right?
Solar Queen, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I vote for the Solar Queen. So
I would go for the Liberator.
Okay.
I think Liberator sounds more promising.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Liberator it is. So was the name of the Liberator 2, is that something that was the name of the ship when you guys got it? Or is it something you change it to?
I would imagine we changed the name somehow, because I was imagining we got it slightly shadily.
Okay.
Was it called Liberator 1?
Dodgy legal stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm interested
change
in.
transponders.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was
I think it was called Liberator, and then I said this one should be called Liberator 2.
That was a great idea.
Yeah, obviously not very. Yeah, we had to put a name down on the new papers, and we were just in a hurry.
Okay.
But it's already a Liberator docked.
Yeah. Yes. It's like names in Twitter. Liberator has been, you could be Liberator 06529. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so I mean, I think that our characters are pretty much together here now. We know what everyone's role is on the Liberator 2. Oh, I need to add.
Was I the pilot now, or was I the gunner?
Gunner.
Gunner, okay.
Goba is the pilot. So what I'm going to do, just for ease of reference, guys, I'm just going to rename your characters to just the names, because the character sheet is incredibly finicky. Oh, actually, I think I can paste. Let's see here. If I can get this to work properly. It's really finicky about entering the specific names. Like if you have an extra space, it'll fuck up for assigning the roles.
Okay.
So let's see your crew. Where are you here? Oh,
I mean, the other thing is I just plonked in some extra bits. So there's a generic science lab and a generic engineering place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I knew we were having a mechanic, so that's quite useful for both myself and him. Even more so if you had a drone, because then you'd have somewhere to rebuild it when it gets blown up.
I think we've got a few people skilled in engineering, so that's great. We can, between all of us, we can build some neat stuff.
Brent, does the magic item crafting require a tech lab, or is it something different? Do you know?
There's an arcane lab.
Arcane lab, okay.
But I think I used up all the build points. We could maybe have a look at the build points if we wanted to tweak some stuff.
Well, you guys will also gain. One of the nice things about this campaign is that you guys actually will be building the ship as you go as well. I mean, you do that in Dead Sense as well, but this one you do start off with it and get a chance to use it right away. All right, so let's see here. We've been going an hour and a half. Why don't we do this, guys? Why don't we take a 5-minute bio break, refresh drinks and stuff like that, come back, and maybe we'll roll some dice and break these characters in. What do you say?
Yeah, cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna restart Roll20 because I can only see Kevin. I can't see any of you.
Yes, the same with me.
Yeah.
Did not seem to change. Let's try again.
I know. Strange. Kevin, do you have a solution? We have a problem here. I can only see you on Roll20.
You can only see me. Okay, so Ingolf looks like just we've refreshed. Do you mean you can only see my avatar, or you can't see anything on the screen?
I can only the video. I can see you, and all the others. I only can see avatars.
That might it might just be like I've had that problem earlier, and now it's refreshed. Yeah. Do you see everyone's video in Roll20 right now?
No, I see them in Google, but I can't see them on Roll20.
I don't know. That sometimes happens because Roll20 is it's a great product, but it sometimes will just do funny things. Like if we have a fairly long session, I'll have to get to a point where I have to shut down the actual browser and restart it because it just seizes up. So if try logging out of Roll20 and then logging back in.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Browser. Don't shut down the Hangout, but just shut down the Roll20. While you're doing that, I'm going to load a new screen in here.
I already did that, but
oh, did that Ingolf? You're still having the same problem?
Yes, and it didn't work. But yeah, well, let's see. Probably it will work at some point. I don't know.
I mean, it's no problem. I can see you all in the other window with Google Hangouts. Or no, that's only I can only see you in Roll20, and that's it.
I have the same. Yeah. I have the same issue.
Yeah.
Everybody else is blank.
Yeah.
And even in the settings, if I go to refresh, I reconnect, it doesn't work. I tried it like 20 times and it didn't work.
No, I'm not sure what. Do you have in your settings? Do you have it set to receive video from other people, or do you have it set to nothing?
I have. I want to receive from others video only.
Video only. Okay, yeah. So we've gone through my slate of troubleshooting options.
Yeah.
Okay, dang it. And the one picture I got this great. Let me show you the picture I got here, Kip, of I can't get it to load because I'll need to load it again into Roll20, but this is the picture I was trying to load. Oh, my says
perfect.
Okay, cool. Then I'll add that as the picture for you. I just need to reload it. Yeah, there's some really awesome pictures of Yasaki on Google Image.
Yeah, I love that. Kev, I couldn't figure out how to do equipment or weapons or any of that other stuff.
Okay. So what you need, let's see here. What you do is at the bottom of the sheet, there's a little plus sign there.
Get out the picture. There we go.
Screw
sheet. Make it really large.
Let's see. I'm just gonna take a look at your class. Oh, okay. There's a couple things. You know what? I'll Kip, as best I can, I'll go in and I'm just going to tweak some of the things in your stats because there's things that weren't entered quite right here.
Okay.
And part of this is because it's not the sheet itself is not super intuitive. It's really been because I fucked up a bunch of times with other character sheets that I figured out how to enter the stuff properly. The hit points on your first section there, that's actually just your racial ones. And then you set up what your class ones are in the second tab at the top there. I'll fix that. And then, so adding equipment, what you do for the equipment and the attacks, you have to add the equipment and the attacks separately, unfortunately. You just click on the plus, and then that will create, you see there's a new feature there?
Yeah, wouldn't it let me to change it, though, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. No, okay, you can edit it. Just want to make sure I had permissions set properly. So what you do is
it's just grayed out for me. That's why all it says is laser pistol.
Right. So then what you do is you have to enter in the information. You enter the name of it, the level, how many of them you've got, what the bulk is, and the bulk is either the number or a letter.
Yeah, it's grayed out though. It won't let me
here
change.
What? Like, let's say here. So there's that. Now, go ahead and hover over it and click on the cog, that sample item I put in there.
Got it.
Okay. Now, are you able to edit it there?
Yes.
Brilliant. That's basically what you do for everything. You just enter that, and then there are tab down options for having that equipped, not equipped, or equipped, carried, or not carried. And then you can set what the purpose is. So if it's a piece of equipment, if it's a gun, if it's a whatever.
Okay.
Okay. And then the attacks are very similar too. You just enter, you enter only the areas that you need to. And what I'll do is between now and next session, I'll go through and I'll take a look and see if everyone's stuff is set up. I imagine it mostly is, but I thought that I had JT entered correctly and Mo correctly pointed out I fucked up that one too. So, all right. So let's do this here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you'd go about changing the initiative because operatives get a bonus to initiative.
Yeah, I think what you do.
I couldn't quite see how to tweak that.
Let's see here. That is part of your operative thing, right? What's one of your operative abilities?
Operative's Edge.
Operative's Edge. Okay, so let's see your Operative's Edge. I think what we do is go into mods and then just hit.
Okay.
Did your initiative? Yep, there you go. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So it's just in order to enter the like if one ability gives you multiple modifiers, what you have to do is just enter a line.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, enter a line. So you have like +1 to all skills, and then a new line +1 to skills, +1 to initiative. That's the way I've entered that.
All right.
Awesome. Okay. So, you know what I'll do? Give me one moment here. I'm going to find that Yasaki picture.
Random question for you. I just clicking on buttons and I rolled initiative just for the hell of it, and it rolled it as 6.05. What's with the decimals?
If you have a tiebreaker, is your bonus to initiative +5?
No, it should be like +1 because I've got a dex of 1. That I'm not quite sure why it's coming up as +5.
I do not know. I'll take a look in a second.
Okay, that's okay. I
think it's because your character died. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's see here. Save as desktop. Boom. Okay. I'm going to try and load your image in because I'd like to make some tokens for everybody.
So
and then we
Kev,
can
when you
maybe
did it-
see if we can get you guys in some trouble before we call it a day.
So Kev,
And it will set a new record if I kill somebody before we actually start the game.
It's like travel. So Kev, when you did it, it was able to change, but it won't change on my sheet. I can't. It's really hard for me to add equipment.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Kip, just shoot me what you're picking up.
Okay.
Okay. And we got a picture for Goba now, and we got a picture for everybody. Love it.
Send you an email.
Yeah, just flip me an email with everyone in it. So what I'll do here, I actually did this in our Delta Green session earlier this week, and I don't know why I didn't think about doing this before, because this is a real easy way of showing everybody who everyone is. There we go. And I don't need one for me because I'm me. I think the image you're using, Brent, I think that might have been from what do you call it? It's an old Alternity product, because it looks like Arcade Post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a cool image. Like, it's really pretty awesome. All right, so let me do this here. I'm going to move us over to a black screen. Unfortunately, I don't have any sci-fi like maps set up yet. But so we'll do this theater of the mind. But let's see if we can't roll some dice today. All right. And let me just modify these to set up. Let's see here. What is
I
this?
could scan in my pawns, because I've got the 2 pawn sets that have come out. I could scan in some of the Yosoki pawns.
Oh, sweet. Oh.
Just to see if there's one.
Oh, you know what? That's okay, Mo. I've actually got. I signed up for the subscription for.
Oh, right. So you should have those.
So I get a PDF version of it as well. And what I'm planning on doing is just using the PDFs to like get the images from them. Okay, guys, let me see if I can set this up here. Starboard. Oh, here we go. Sweet. Does Goba has more than 1 stamina point, right?
Whatever the sheet put on. So
okay, hold on. Then I think that. Let me just double check. I don't think that's right. What I'm gonna do, guys, is for the tokens, red will be your hit points, and blue will be your stamina points. And it should track, once we set this up, it should track to the character sheets as well. So if you make the adjustment on the bars, and what I'll do is make them visible to everybody, so you all know sort of where you stand. That's particularly helpful for our resident healer.
Yeah, I can't heal your stamina points, only your hit points. Yeah,
oh, right.
The envoy can heal the stamina points.
Cool. So I'm sure for the folks listening at home, this is some fucking thrilling stuff. Watching the DM fill out tokens. So for you know what I'll do is, for those of you guys who have run Starfinder before, what have been the problems the challenges you've run into with running it? Before we went live, one of you guys mentioned that part of the setting up like an in-between session to get updated gear and stuff like that was a problem.
Yeah, when you get up in level, or when you get a level up, then you have to get new gear. Yeah, and it's relevant when you're around level 3. When you're on Absalom Station, you can buy level 5 stuff, or when you're level 4, you can buy level 6 stuff, and it's loads of work actually. Yeah, because everybody has to study all the items, all the armor, the guns, the weapons, augmentations. There's loads of augmentations, especially when you have the other book, the Armory. Then you have loads of options, and you can't do that in a normal session. You have to do a session in between where everybody gets the new equipment. I don't know how it works with the. I don't know how it works with the Starship though. Yeah.
Starship, I think you're like the upgrades generally come when you get a new level as well. At least in the adventure, it sort of sets out those. That's the way they sort of set it up as well.
Yeah, I think it's rather abstracted. You say you go up a level and you've got these build points. And I think the idea is that you accumulate stuff over the adventure that effectively allows you to say, okay, we've got enough resources to change one of the cargo holds to a vehicle bay or what have you, or you can upgrade the weapons. I think they don't really expect you to role play actually going and buying a new, bigger laser cannon. That's one of the reasons I put the tech lab on there, because in theory there's no reason you can't just build the higher level stuff, unless it's like some plot related artifact that is unique. One of the things I found was sometimes just jarring stuff that takes you out of the moment. This is the on fire in space, and there's also another one where you're in a I assume no one wants to play it. Later on, you're in a deserted asteroid that is 0G, and there's a trap that involves releasing spores. Why would you ever take your helmet off?
Yeah.
all my players thinking, well, I've seen Alien. I know what happens if you look in that strange egg-looking pod thing.
Yeah.
But I think that's just when they were doing it. That was the first one was done before they'd written the book fully.
Yeah.
So I found I went through, and if anything was just jarring, I just said, okay, I'll fiddle it in another way. Yeah, I didn't have much of the upgrading, but then most of my players are pretty experienced Pathfinder players and have got most of the books. So, and also we were only playing every other week, so the odd week, while we're waiting for the Pathfinder stuff to kick off, we could spend 10 minutes looking through the books then. But this is all face to face, so we can sit around a table and do it. It's not like you've got to arrange time to catch up with everyone.
So what we could do if, like, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's the first time running Starfinder, but it sounds like I mean, I have run Shadowrun for quite a few years, and that's always a fucking problem with that game is just you either are going to be optimally equipped, or you're going to devote a good chunk of your time to like learning what shit is good for you to maximize the specific bonuses. What I suggest,
fairly good about putting in loot that you will need later on. I found, especially if you've done the first one, there is stuff you find that is deliberately set up to be useful.
And that's honestly, one of the reasons why I wanted to run the Adventure Path first is to get a sense of, so I'm not fucking up things because I'm introducing stuff of my own. In theory, the Adventure Path is set so that you get the stuff, like the appropriate amount of gear and the timing for when you're leveling up and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. If we need to fix, like, one thing that is absent from Starfinder in general is any kind of narrative point, like an opportunity for you guys to interact with the dice mechanics. And like, I run on an awful lot of OSR games, so I'm live to the kind of just let the dice fall where they may. But even in those games, I generally allow you guys to get some kind of like action point or something like that to change up dice. So I'll leave it to you guys. So if you guys would like to have a mechanic like that, I'm more than happy to have that. If you want to play Starfinder Iron Man, we can do that too. But it's just what generally I let you guys do is it'll be those kind of points would be things like re-rolling a dice roll. That's not, the failed saves aren't as critical in this as they are in some more punishing versions of D&D. But you can also do things like, edit a scene, make a small scene edit to add something via flashback or whatever. Do you guys want to play with those kind of points in the game, or do you want to play Iron Man?
No, I think it's always a good idea to put a mechanic like this into the game.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Savage Worlds fate points, I think they call them, or the poker chips.
Bennies.
Yeah, I mean, I never had the problem, but I've seen other people who've played the first one said it's incredibly brutal.
Yeah,
and certainly
it's really unforgiving.
in what I ran, we had to run away and come back because the mechanic sent his drone in the sort of in the nightclub, and the best in there said, "Oh, little drone," and they all blew their. So the drone just beeped sadly, or beeped in fear, and then there was this huge bang as he maxed out his attack and critted the drone. And they decided that one thing I did notice that smoke grenades are a bit overpowered.
Okay. In terms of like limiting visibility, or
well, no, it's the choking mechanic. If you get the drop on someone and you beat them on initiative, in theory, they're sitting there choking, trying to put their.
Can't every armor set seal automatically?
Well,
anyway?
the thing is, if you're socially sitting around, not in a spaceship or in combat, you wouldn't normally have your helmet on because you've got a limited amount of time. You may well wear your armor, but you wouldn't like have the helmet on. Is the way we were reading it.
And am I reading grenades? I know you got a penalty to non-proficient. You have to be proficient to use them, but it looks like because you're just throwing on a grid square, the AC to hit them is a flat.
It's quite easy, but I mean, really, the reason my character bought one is in case you need to get out of dodge quickly.
Yeah, but even
you can run away and throw it behind you, and it could give you an extra round of running away.
Well, I thought even if you're not proficient, like with
it's 5 to hit a square.
Yeah, so like you're rolling 9 even if you're not proficient with it to hit a square. So and then it takes out everything in that area. So I just thought that was an interesting mechanic. I think I was reading it correctly.
Yep, but the grenades are really expensive here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's why they're.
If you want the grenade to have some decent effect, then it's really expensive.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's let me grab. Where is it? So I really need to organize my office. Oh, here it is. One sec. Make sure I don't yoink myself here. All right. So what I think we'll say, guys, is that this scene will open in a shitty part of the down below, like the lower levels of Absalom Station. You guys know that you guys are. Oh, someone's moving up, guys.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was just for me.
I had the exact same thing happen with Delta Green. I set up everything and like perfect. Now everyone will know, and immediately all the players are like, "Woo!" I'll move everything.
Yeah, everywhere. I've got a really small screen, so.
Oh, okay, shit, sorry. So what? This scene will take place. Let's say, it's before the what do you call it? Before the actual campaign itself will be kicking off. This is, I'm stealing just to give us an excuse to roll some dice here, I'm stealing actually something from Shadowrun. So this scene takes place in the epic, clearly like the coolest fucking action piece or action set piece thing you can ask for, which is to say a convenience store. So,
I know the scenario you're referencing. That's
all. So where we are, guys, is just, I think for whatever reason, maybe like it's, I know JT, you got very specific reasons for not being on the, not being on the station all the time. But either like, you know, there was some kind of space parasite or something like that that was on the Liberator. So you guys are all off of it just to make a quick run to grab some things, and maybe you're off to your home base. Where do you guys think, like, do you guys all sort of live together, or do you all have your own separate quarters on Absalom Station, or do you all just use the Liberator as the place you live?
I think Tom would live on the Liberator. He's not flush for cash, and I think he would have anything that would be permanent and it could be tracked, like a residence, he would try to abandon as well.
Yeah, I was told that the captain never should leave the ship.
On the ship.
Volman was convinced he should never leave the ship. All right. So then this is a bit of an abnormal situation. JT, did you have an idea for the name of the crew that was that sort of took over in the wake of Jubal's death? I think you said the Downside Kings, right?
I thought of the Downside Kings because obviously I'm familiar with the first Adventure Path.
Remember give me a nutshell description of what the Downside Kings are all about. Because I actually don't remember from.
Basically, extortion, prostitution, drug running, murder for hire. The whole.
I know them.
They are effectively a mafia type organization, and I assume they're a bit more widespread than the one in the first book. The ones you fight are not like they're not the heads of the family. They're just like capos or foot level, you know, just ordinary made things. I'm not quite sure a made man would be in.
Yeah, I mean it
could be anything.
They could actually have. Let's see. They could actually have connections with the Aspis Consortium as well too. Or there could be some talk about them having contacts with it. So maybe they do have aspirations to something bigger now that there was some, you know, we could say in the fiction of this campaign that the events of Dead Suns have happened, and like there was a sort of like whatever they were doing in that they were taken out, and now they're in the process of rebuilding. But obviously there's one of the well-known things in amongst the Downside Kings is there's a price on your head, and I think by virtue of on your head, on Volden's head as well. And the thing he's got going for him is likely that it's difficult for a lot of humans to tell one Vesk from another. So just when you see the Vesk and the Drow together, that's when it sort of tweaks them. So our scene opens in, you can picture this level of Absalom Station as being very much like any given street in Blade Runner. You know, it's filthy, it's dark. There seems to be a ubiquitous amount of neon lights down here, but they don't seem to illuminate anything. They sort of just glow in there. There's a haze that kind of hangs in the air because of there's probably shitty maintenance on this section. So there's this constant sort of diffused, mist and whatever else that covers this area. And set into the wall of one of the bulkheads or whatever of this level is and in stark contrast to a lot of the other buildings seem to be lights are off. Some of them are, the sci-fi equivalent of like boarded up windows. I imagine they don't have boarded up windows, but it's whatever the sci-fi equivalent would be. Duct tape, I guess, closed. I don't know. But there's broken windows and whatnot. And the only place that seems to have any life, of course, is this one bright entrance. And above the doorway to this, in common, are the words Stuffer Shack. So through this mist, we see 5 figures. And it sounds like most of them are trying to be inconspicuous, but 2 of them are fairly pronounced, I think. Why don't we go down the Reservoir Dogs style? We're going to cut across the 5 characters, and starting with Goba. What does Goba look like? Give us a quick description of what he looks like and how he's making his way down this street towards the Stuffer Shack.
So he, I would say he looks pretty much like the image on the screen.
Oh, Kip, I'm having a hard time hearing you again too. Your mic seems really low.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better.
Okay. So he basically looks like the picture on the screen. So he's got a vest and pants, you know, and so he does. So his nickname is Scruffy. So he looks like a little dirty and scruffy. And so he's just walking down the street, you know, just looking around, being very careful. You know,
okay.
A lot of the big guys, you know, don't really like Yosoki, so or don't, you know, treat him so nice. So
okay,
wary.
And does he does he walk with like? Is he trying to conceal himself? Is he strutting along?
Oh, he's definitely not He's not a strutter. So he's
okay.
He's walking along, you know, just like on a mission. So he's like, you know,
okay,
New York City walking.
Nice. Okay. So he knows he's got stuff to get at the Stuffer Shack.
Yeah.
What about JT?
He's probably wearing flight overalls. In probably, I don't know whether we have a uniform or whether we've got a set color, but he's wearing flight overalls with a hoodie on top because he's got that pulled up to cover his ears. Obviously sunglasses, because even if it's dim light here, it's probably quite bright for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm wearing the armor underneath, and I will be carrying both my knife and gun.
Okay.
And probably some spare mags. I think this is sort of social, isn't it? What else would you have carrying with him? And he's probably got the smoke grenade with him, just in case he needs to make a quick runaway, and the healing potion. And obviously, he's got his data pad and his toolkits, just in case.
So then the camera continues panning across to Zakros.
Yeah, Zakros had to put 6 gang members today to the grave. Like, he cremated them. The gangs are overdoing it a bit at the moment with their fights. So I attended the mass, and now I'm really, really thirsty. And I'm going to the Stufa Shack to get a drink and something to eat. And he has his robes on, his dark, reddish kind of robes, and his hood. And he's determined to get some drink into him now.
Okay. And we pan over to Vulden.
Yeah, so Vulden looks around like he owns the place. Probably he thinks he owns the place. I don't know. No, he has his rifle in his hand. Why not? I mean, it's perfectly normal to walk around with a rifle. Yeah, and he has his body armor. He looks around, but more like, yeah, is there some kind of danger? Probably some worthy fight to fight. And I think he walks in front because he is convinced as a captain he has to be the first to enter.
Okay. So you guys, the last person in line is, of course, Tom.
He's just sort of going in, hanging out. He's wearing, I guess, casualish type clothes. He's got his sidearm holstered. I think that's sort of cool in this part of the station. And he's smoking his last cigarette and wants to go to the Stuffer Shack because he's out. He needs to stock up, especially if they're going to be on the ship for a while.
Okay. So the 5 of these characters all walk into the Stuffer Shack. The doors open up, and you guys walk inside. There is a like a teenage Lashunta who is working behind the sort of the plexiglass or whatever barrier that sets up between the store and the actual, register. This place, because it's such a shitty part of town, there are normally credits are transferred electronically, but this thing actually takes like physical credit sticks as well. And probably that's the vast majority of it is any kind of like not the Absalon station equivalent of food stamps being doled out on credits. And any kind of controlled substances that you'd have to purchase that would be behind the barrier. He's got those behind there as well too. So your cigarettes are going to be behind there as well. You guys get into the shop is basically, if you can picture any kind of, freestanding convenience store, it's probably about, I don't know, 50 to 60 feet long and about maybe 30 feet deep, full of rows and rows and rows of things that are, very best, it very generously would be to describe them as food. They're really more just things that, fill needs. And you guys are sort of off dispersed where you're, you can decide for yourself what your characters are specifically looking for. When moments afterwards, the doors slide open again, and in walks 6 members of the Downside Kings. And I think I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to notice this happening first, and you guys can describe what you want to do. We won't drop into initiative just yet. Now, the Downside Kings, I don't remember what their coloring is. Mo, do you have any insight on that? Got it right here, I guess, but
no, I've got it in my other bag.
Okay.
They are, I think they're just general sort of like jumpsuit type guys.
Okay.
And I think it was sort of golden and brown. They were, but I mean, I think they've got tattoos. I think is the distinguishing mark. So if you've got someone who's got like a torn off T-shirt showing off his muscles.
Let's see here. Here we go. So, why don't you guys give me let's get some dice rolling here. Give me a culture check, please. And that is in no way a chance for me to stall to quickly read through what the description is.
Hang on. Culture check. God. Oh yeah.
I do that. How do you get it to come up in the box? I've not seen that before. Rather than just rolling them straight.
If you just click on the skill, it should
roll.
Right.
From hang on, let me pull up my character sheet in another window. Then, yeah. Culture.
Okay,
yeah, because I haven't gone through in and actually retconned it to take out the armor check penalty, so that is in fact 17 for me.
Okay. So let's see here.
I need to go through and do that, tweak that mods one.
Okay, so Zachary, this makes sense that you rolled the highest because you've been doing like ministering to the gangs as well. So you know that let's see here, Downside Kings used to operate and continue. Well, no, they used to operate a nightclub called Fusion Queen. Although you've heard that some gang of adventurers or reprobates have taken it over after a amazing dance competition took place. And since that time, the Downside Kings are, they're a brutal street gang that controls several decks of Absalom Station's lower levels with the Downside through a combination of intimidation and violence. They're known to engage in a wide variety of illegal activities, from extortion, fraud, robbery, smuggling, and theft, to drug and arms trafficking, kidnapping, murder for hire, and trafficking in sentient species. And until recently, the boss was a barbarous human woman named Farani Nadaz, but that has since turned over to your nemesis, JT. Do you have an idea of what that person's name might be?
So I just think I never really came up a name for that one.
Okay, so we can fill it in between now and next session. So what we know, there's actually nothing official about, now that I can see, that specifically sets out what their sort of colors or schemes are. So what I'm going to say is just that it's got a they've got this like stylized patch that shows sort of like it's a profile of Absalom Station, and then it's got like a blood red kind of like slash or whatever near the bottom parts of it. And that's sort of what they're otherwise just dressed like, kind of like low-level Absalom Station thugs, but that patch is the thing that sort of sets them apart. And in amongst this group here, there is a human named, one second here, I did have that. His name is Dargax. So there's a guy, a human guy, young kid named Dargax, who is sort of like the, like a sergeant in the Downside Kings. He walks in, and unfortunately, JT and Volden, you both know this dude and are known to him. Zakros, I think you probably have run across him because you're not necessarily. I'm assuming that they haven't made the connection between you and JT just yet, because that's probably one way that you're able to still move amongst the station without problems. But Tom, you of course know that this is a problem. You are associated with JT. There's likely a price on your head, or at the very least, they know that to get to JT would be to get through you. So that's what you know, and you see there are 5 of them that walk in, along with Dargaz. Dargaz? How did I forget his name already? Fucking Bush League DMing here. Good. Dargax. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget it again. All right. So, guys, what are you doing? Goba, I'm not sure you maybe have seen this yet.
I'm looking for the space mac and cheese.
You're also quite small, so I'm picturing that you can't really.
I really can't see over those high shelves, man.
Okay. So you just jump in once the scene presents itself an opportunity. The people who are the most concerned here, actually all the rest of you guys, Volden, JT, and Tom. Obviously, you don't want to get seen by these guys because things will get ugly. And Zakros, I think the situation here.
Things get ugly now by the looks of it.
I can go find some. I can go find some stuff to buy behind a shelf near the back. I'm assuming they have rows of stuff. I'm gonna go make my presence less known.
Okay. So so what I'm gonna interpret that as, Brett, is you're gonna make a self check for me. Volden, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, I think I burst into laughter and say, you again. Now we can finish what we started last time. Come here and let me trust you.
Okay, so Zakros and JT, you don't know that that's what's going to happen, but what are you guys doing?
I just shake my head and I pull my laser gun. If this is going to be an extra shift for me.
Nice. And JT?
Well, I'm making sure my hood is up, and I'm going to sort of go and look at towards the back of the shop, looking at I don't know, magazines or cigarettes or something, and trying not to be seen. But I will have my hand near my pistol. I won't actually pull it out yet.
So why don't we?
You're with me.
Yeah, so I'm back with the sensible people. Even though my sky skill is really awful, I really ought to put some points into it.
So because we got a cleric or a priest of Pharasma in here too, I think we'll call the narrative points fate points. And everyone, because your descriptions were great, everyone gets a fate point, so you'll have that sitting in your inventory. And why don't you? Okay, so Brent gave me a stealth check. I need a stealth check from JT. And then we'll go into what
stealth rather than disguise, or I mean, my disguise is hopeless. But
I'll let you make either. I mean, the reason I interpreted it as stealth is because Brent's trying to be inconspicuous.
Yeah, I suppose I'm trying not to be seen rather than sort of.
Yeah, so I think it's
going
stealth.
Straight in front of you.
Holy shit! Okay,
I did good.
Yeah, you're gone. This is not your fault.
That's what I'm really good at.
All right, so then what we see then, I guess, is these guys all walk in. Zakros, you're just like, oh shit, and start drawing, get your weapon out, and then you hear this. Holden, what do you do apart from laugh? Because it's all 6 of the Downside Kings look over and they see you. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I try to challenge their leader, and it's a good thing that he brought witnesses to bear his loss. But yeah, okay. So.
So are you are you literally challenging? What do you say to him? I guess.
Yeah, just as I said, let's finish what we started the last time. You ran away, and now I will go and I will crush you.
Why don't you give me an intimidate check? Let's just see what how Dargak reacts to this.
Oh,
not great. Okay, so he's not particularly. He is ready to finish what you started. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is click on your token, so it's selected, and then roll initiative, please. And I'll roll initiative for the Downside Kings. I just rolled a nat 20. Guys, first roll of the new campaign, and the DM just rolled nat 20. This is going to be awesome.
how do I roll initiative?
It should be on your character sheet right near the top.
Ah, okay. No, because you said click on your. I click on my token to mark it.
I did the same.
Okay.
My initiative's messed up, so I'm just rolling a d20 plus 1.
Why is your initiative messed up?
Because it's got a +5.
What is your... Oh, you know what? Hold on. It's because it's... Yeah. 1 sec here, Brent. For some reason, it's not uploading properly. I used another character sheet to work from on this. Come on, here we go. And it's including the... it's still including the bonus from improved initiative.
Oh, okay.
So should we click on the green thing and then put in an initiative?
Let's see if this fixes things. Click on the green thing.
Well, you said click on the token and then do it, but I wasn't quite
yes,
sure.
please, because that way it'll assign it to that token.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, I need to roll that again then. I didn't do that wrong, unless you want me to...
Okay, your initiative's fixed, Brent.
Okay, awesome. So...
Awesome. Okay. Goba, and then so Goba.
Look at my 2 rolls, man. That's so much.
Nice. 20.1.
Not just 20, 20.01.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, that's why, Brent. So it is calculating the bonus. It's just you had the wrong bonus. Kip, was it not working properly for you, or?
Yeah,
Well, I think
not. So I mean, it rolled in the chat, but it doesn't.
Okay, so here, let me just. I'm going to try something. Not on the. Boom. What did you roll?
I think I rolled an 11.
11. Okay, so we'll change that to 11.1. Great.
11.0 something, but yes, 11.
Okay, boom. So look at that. All right, so you have heard Tom Voldan scream out at Dargax, and I think that Dargax has shit-talked you guys a lot of times in the past, which is probably why Voldan was so keen to end things. But Tom, you're up first. So in Starfinder, you get, what is it, a swift, a move, and a standard, or a full round. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and I believe drawing a weapon is a move action in this?
I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, unless you've got like quick draw or the...
No, so
yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to use as I hear all this shit go down. I'm like, fuck. So I'm going to spend my move action to draw my pistol, and my standard action to cast junk armor.
Nice. So what does it look like as your junk armor comes to
Okay, because we're inside, I guess I'll use the stuff inside my backpack. So,
oh God, please use the shit in the store. That's so good.
Will it work? Because technically it's not junk, right? It's stuff on the shelf. Or do you want to let me incorporate
I'm totally fine with that. I think that's funny enough to be covered in, like, you know, nacho cheese and
okay, so the shelves, the shelf by where I am, the like the cans and maybe like, you know, the metal signs, they sort of like start shaking and come out of the shelf and sort of coalesce in the form of chunks of like flint meal, I guess, sort of like covering the entire body.
Okay. So let's use this opportunity to talk about adding bonuses. So what you do, Brent, is go into the character sheet, which is slowly loading for me. Go into your buffs tab at the top right there.
Okay.
and then click on plus at the bottom. So you're adding something. We'll name it junk armor.
Okay, hang on. It's okay. So junk armor.
Just do this. Actually, Brent, tell me, what are your bonuses for junk armor? Plus what to KAC? Plus what to EAC?
Plus 3 to KAC, plus 1 to EAC.
See if this works properly. Boom. Is that adding to your armor?
Yes, except the EAC should be 12 and not 13.
Did you say 1 to EAC?
Yeah, 1 to EAC and 3, so it should be 12 and 14.
Okay. There you go. So now when you use junk armor, Brent, just click on the buff.
Okay, cool. And that's if I go up in a level, it goes up, so I can go in there and easily modify?
Modify it as you go along. Okay, cool. So that's your actions for the turn. Next up is the Downside Kings. All right. So I think everybody is going to have partial cover for right now just because of the different stacks and levels and whatnot. I have 2 guys. So JT and Goba and Tom cannot be seen, although Tom cast that spell. So I think that definitely caused some distraction. So I have 2 potential targets because they're not going to target Zakros until he becomes hostile. As far as they know, he's just the local priest. So let's roll first randomly for these. Sorry, I needed one more. D20. Golden, are you evens or odds?
Oh, I'm at odds, probably.
At odds. Okay. So we've got 3 attacking you and 2 attacking Tom. So the 2 against what they do is they use their move action to draw out their auto pistol. So basically, I'm picturing like a 50 or 60-year-old kind of kludged together. You have to service it every day to use it, kind of auto pistol. But 3 of them draw it out and they fire at you. So against your KAC, I think only one of them will hit, potentially.
So with partial cover, it's plus 2 to AC?
So against Voldan, plus 2 to your AC, yeah.
Okay.
Voldan, does a 20 hit your AC? Your KAC?
Yes. 20, yes.
And then against Tom, I don't think, one of them, does an 18 hit your KAC?
Yes.
Okay. So each of you guys take, Voldan, you take 2 stamina, and Tom, you take 5. So we begin to start blazing away at you guys. And then we've got the fearsome, the mighty Dargax. Dargax pulls out, a static arc pistol. And he's going to take our aim at Voldan because he's that kind of guy. It's a 25.
Yeah, okay. That's it.
So this thing, there's this like arc of electricity that comes out of the end of it. And you take 4 points of damage as this thing hits you. Plus, it says plus stun as well, too. So I think you need a fort save. Let me look that up quickly.
Yeah, okay.
Let me double check. I don't know.
Ooh.
That didn't sound good.
Is that a crit effect or is it? Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay, so weapon. Let's see here. Weapon has a stun property. Is that only on crit or is that when it hits? Oh, never mind. Ignore me. No, ignore the save. It's that you can set it to stun.
Oh, yeah, cool.
That was my fuck up. So this thing arcs out at you and you're hit twice. Ah! Oh, yeah. Holy shit. Tom's got no stamina left.
Yep. Did it automatically update? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Everyone can see everyone's names and bars.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so the Downside Kings in a fucking hail of gunfire are blazing away at our guys. But then it turns to Zakros. What's he doing?
Zakros. Yeah, he goes for the leader. Yeah, he pulls his laser azimuth laser pistol and shoots directly at him.
Nice. Flash of now this I'm going to assume that this is sci-fi lasers so they actually can be seen because it's cooler.
Yeah. So
well, there's enough dust and grit in the atmosphere. You get the effect anyway.
Nacho dust and stuff.
We have to add 1 point for the attack because I got the weapon focus feed.
Add +1 to whatever you've
Yeah.
number is 1 higher.
Okay. So okay. Just full attack, no. Submit.
I'll check whether mine's set up that way as well.
Okay. Nice. Is that a nat 20?
That is a nat 20, yeah.
Ah, damn. So we get to see how criticals work.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's burning. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So
I forgot to click at the icon, but I don't know. Did you link it to the hit points? No.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Let me see here. So you did. Why is there a +3 on it?
That's
All right.
I suppose.
Is it adding strength to the damage, maybe?
No, there shouldn't be any.
Yeah,
the damage is just 1d4.
1d4. Okay, so
yeah,
1 point of damage. So then, give me a d6 roll because you did crit, which means it takes burning damage too.
Yeah, it gets burning damage, and until he turns the fire off, but he will be burning. That's a crit.
That's awesome. So you set fire to his clothing.
Okay. Roll 1d6.
Now, does he take the burn automatically, or is it the start of his turn?
I looked it up, and he burns out. There's an example at the beginning of the book, and there's a crit effect, and he starts burning immediately. He gets the damage now, the burning damage, and in the following rounds he gets burning damage until he gets a save.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I roll 1d6.
Yep.
3 for the. So that's fixed now. The 3 damage. That's what he gets every round until he.
So he puts it up.
Puts it up. Oh, yeah. And
take an action to put it out, or to make the save, or does that just improve his save chance?
I think it's at the start of the turn he gets a damage, and the end of the turn he can do a save. But I don't know. Actually, that's the first time that we had a crit.
Yeah. All right, so your azimuth laser pistol with flash of light, and you scorch him along the those like deck, kind of overalls that he's wearing, but it has some armored stuff to it, and you think that's something he's got something in his overalls that seems to catch and it flashes up. And goes back. He's not quite down, but that really did hurt him and is likely going to be distracting him. Next up is Vuldan. Your turn.
Yeah, so now I see him better even, so if he's burning, so I will just shoot him, probably.
Nice.
Let's see. Where's he? Yeah. So let's see if that works. No, I just no.
Ooh, yeah, that definitely hit 20. Oh man! So you bring up your azimuth laser rifle.
Yes.
Line up a careful and considered shot and blast him. Yeah, there's a flash of light. That teenage Lashunta behind the till is like, jump down, and all you can see is little antennae sticking over the table, and then those slowly kind of like, go down. Yeah, amazing. So both, I forgot as well, Zachros, you would have had a move action as well too if you wanted to do something. Both of you guys do actually.
Sorry. I stay behind the cover. Yeah, okay. I keep an eye at the others too. Yeah, if I can see them. Yeah.
Okay. The only person you can't see is Goba.
Yeah.
Right? So, and speaking of Goba, what the hell's going on?
Okay, so how far away? Obviously, because I see all the firing at this point. How far away are these 5 guys from me?
I'm going to add it before. But here's how you came to know something was going on. You were kind of looking up and down the aisles trying to find that mac and cheese.
Space mac and cheese.
And then you're like, mac and cheese. You're like, there it is. And as you're walking towards it, it flies out of your hands and seems to slam into this armor that forms around Tom. And then you see him get shot by someone.
Nice. Okay.
And you kind of spin around They just destroyed your mac and cheese.
Man, that sucks. So how far away am I? Because I see all this going on. How far away from what I obviously are figuring out are the bad guys?
At most, they'd be like 25 feet away.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a bunch of things. So I don't have a lot of equipment loaded.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to sort of guesstimate stuff.
You can just roll, like, you can either roll physical dice or you can roll whatever, like just hit the roll.
So as a swift action, Yosoki have the ability to take items out of spit items out of the pouch in their cheek.
Nice.
So in the pouch in the cheek, I have a smoke grenade.
Yeah.
And I'm spitting it out as a swift action, and then I'm gonna chuck it at the clump of guys. And it was funny because I was looking at what I was gonna take as a feat at first level, and so I took grenade proficiency.
Nice.
So I ignore distance modifiers.
Okay, so I think it's just your it would be your base attack is what, a +0 right now?
Oh no, my dex.
Base attack as a mechanic is 0, I think, at first level, and then you get plus whatever your dex modifier is.
Yeah, so my dex would be +2.
Okay.
So all right, follow me and roll.
What's the radius of a smoke grenade?
It is. I'm looking at the sheet here.
If he's got the extra vortex, I think it adds +1 to his
15.
attack.
Brent thinks the exocortex gives you +1 to your attack as well.
Yeah.
So that would be 1d20 +3, right?
I think I saw it from when I was entering it for another character.
So that's a 19. So
are you centering it on which Dargax or one of the other downs?
Well, which is the meanest looking guy?
Dargax, probably.
All right, so I'll check it at him because I don't know who these people are. So,
so yeah, it's placed right at his feet. So this poor bastard had a challenge shouted out to him. He got one good shot off, and then got blazed by 2 of these things. He's on fire. He looks down at his feet, and he's like, "What's the?"
Yeah, it's a 15. It says 15 feet radius. So
Yeah.
So then that's So it's a 30 diameter.
30 feet diameter.
So half of the other half of the what do you call it? The stuffer shack is now full of smoke. And
we've got a problem now. Laser weapons don't work well with that smoke.
Damn it, Koba. Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking for the exit. So there's back there.
It's through the smoke, I think.
Yeah, it's through the smoke.
All right, I'll do stealth. So I have a move actually.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna kind of stealth forward then.
Okay.
Right, where is my? Oh, there it is.
I think that because of the cover, don't you get like a +5 or a +10?
No, it's only a light cover +4.
Yes, right. You need the cover to actually be able to try stealth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So through the what's your movement? Is it 30?
You know, it doesn't actually say. So
or
I couldn't find it anyway. So
I don't know.
But I'm like,
but yeah, I think 30 is everyone.
Yeah, I think do the racial thing. So
maybe not, but no.
So the last thing you hear after the smoke grenade goes off is you hear the bing of the doors opening and go skittering out into the stuffer shack. All right, JT, what are you doing?
I turn around to see the smoke and fire. I'm going to duck down and move to the end of one of the aisles where I can get a line on them, drawing the pistol as I go.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a high enough bat, I can't actually shoot at this point. Because effectively it's so I'm we're at the other end of the shop. I'm sort of hiding halfway around, at the end of one of the aisles, pointing upwards towards the group. And I'm going to wait till next turn.
One of the downside kings, and maybe you could see Dargax if you want.
Mm.
And smoke gives concealment. Is that right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a mischance then. So you can still see, like, make out everyone, JT. Did you say you didn't want to take a shot?
I don't think I can because I don't have I'm a 3/4 bab, so I don't think you get. So I've got to move. I'd have to move and draw. I do that if your bab is greater than 1, is 1 or greater. So effectively, I can.
Well, I think what you told me, because I think I hear this, didn't you tell me that when you made that stealth roll, you also holstered one of your weapons?
Well, I had my hand on the hilt.
Yeah, I think that's right. So let's just assume it's out, and go ahead and take a shot if you like.
Oh, can we take my stealth attack as the trick attack then?
Absolutely.
Okay, so well, let's see what the hit is then.
Now, do you want to hit Gargax or you want to hit?
Well, he looks like he's in trouble. I'll hit the guy next to him.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Come on, attack. All right, it's not attacking.
It might be prompting you for whether you're doing a full attack.
Oh yes, full attack. No, it's not because I have moved.
Does trick attack get any bonus to hit?
I'll be honest, sorry, I'm not. I haven't played a.
You know, if you click on trick attack on your character sheet, it should just display it. That's one of the reasons why I entered all the.
Hang on.
Boom. Oh, thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, ability.
Oh my god. This is so bad for them. Okay, let's see here.
It's a full action though.
No, but you can move when you're doing your full action. It says you can move your thing whether you moved or not, make an attack with a melee weapon or a small arm.
A 1d for additional and they're flat-footed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, this is weird. So like you're prompted to make a one of those skill checks, and then you do the.
Well, do you want me to take the one before, or should I just make another one?
I'm fine with the one before. It's honestly a bit of a clunky way of.
It's 26,
but
so I assumed effectively I ducked down out of the way.
Yeah, so you did 4 points extra with it. So the 14 hit does hit them. So you did 9 points of damage in total to this guy.
And
so
he's
I rolled the concealment check, and it did hit him. So what weapon are you using?
Tactical auto pistol. So
right. So your pistol barks off as well too, and hits one of these guys right in the kind of spins him around, and they're about to choke to death. So, well, non-lethal damage, I guess. Let's see. Oh yeah, and they become nothing. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, let's see here. Then the next up is Tom. What are you doing?
All right. Tom feels insecure. All of a sudden, he's been cornered in the back of a store behind a wall of smoke and a bunch of enemies, and he has taken significant amounts of damage. He's hurt and he's pissed, and he's going to open up, take a full round action to cast Magic Missile.
Nice. So if you just click on the spell, Brent, it'll roll damage for you.
Okay, so I'm guessing like the big bad who's on fire. I should be able to see some flames or something from him and target him.
You don't need, I don't think you roll concealment for Magic Missile.
No, so I guess it's just some vague idea where they are. Or
well, you can see it's only partial concealment. Like it's a 20% mischance, so you can still make out their outlines. Where do you want to before you roll? Where do you want these hitting?
I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna do it as a full round action and fire all 3 missiles into the big guy.
Gargax, okay.
Gargax.
Go ahead and make your roll.
All right, so I'm just gonna click on the spell.
And
so how's this working here? Okay, it only calculates for 1 dice. Do you want me to roll the other 2 separate?
At the bottom, it rolls the other 2. So that's 7. That's 11 damage. Holy shit. So, Brent, why don't you give us a description of what it looks like while you cast your spell and when Dargax falls?
Okay, all this crap is going around. Tom starts to panic, so he concentrates and he takes a bit extra time, and blue glowing energy starts forming around his hands. And then over top of the shelves, the now empty shelves, he like opens his arms up, extends them before him, and 3 blue bolts go flying at Gorgex.
Okay, so he is hit by these 3, and his still smoldering form hits the ground in front of. I think he actually falls back, and you can kind of hear a ding as the door opens again from the motion sensor. So now he's lying half in, half out of the stuffer shack. Next up is them.
Thank you. Come again.
And yeah, and now I need to make saving throws for these guys. So it's fortitude. So +4. Let's see here. I need 15. I have 1, 2, 3 failures. 2 of them are able to act. I'm going to say it was a 1 in 5 chance. So if I roll 1 to 4, it's the guy who got shot. Yes, he failed. So the guy you shot, JT, is coughing away. He takes, so they're all taking 5 points of damage. He actually collapses into unconsciousness, which means he is gone. He is gone. There's only 4 left, 2 of which cannot do anything. The other 2 sort of, I think, have heard what's going on in here. They realize they have woefully, bit off more than they can chew. Those 2 go racing outside. So, Goba, you see 2 of the Downside Kings go racing past you as they're running off into the mist of that level. The other 2 are currently stationary. And Goba, why don't you give me a D6 roll? Let's see how much damage they take. Ooh, nice. So yeah, they are coughing away and
Hello.
Oh, I think
you are up next. Oh, sorry guys. Roll 20 is lagging out here.
Yeah.
One sec. Moment. Come on. Come on. Okay. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. So just my roll 20, I think, is lagging out. So I'm just going to have to close that and restart it. But next up will be Zach.
No, is it me now?
Oh, let's see.
No, it's, I think it's for everyone.
Yeah, you go first.
So
Let's see. Oop. How about now? Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my whole computer decided to lag out there. Let's see. Oh no, roll 20 is still not working. I'm just going to close down my roll 20 and reopen it because I think that's what's causing the problem here. Okay. Let's see. So, Zachros, it is your action now, though.
Okay. Do the other Togs make any intention to flee, or are they looking kind of puzzled, like our leader is lying on the ground, nearly dead, and
Yeah, there's 2 of them that are currently basically like Dargax has hit the ground. He is completely out of the. He's not going to be fighting with anybody anytime soon.
Yeah.
Oops, there we go. The 2 of them have fled. One of them has fallen, and the other 2 are sort of paralyzed, coughing and choking in the smoke given off by Goba's grenade.
Yeah, I point the weapon at them and I tell them, run as long as you have time, or else you might be sharing the same fate as your buddies.
Nice.
Leave your weapons, though. I'll shout out from the back.
Okay, so go ahead.
I need the ammo. It's not cheap.
Will I do an intimidate check or something like that?
Give me an intimidate check. Let's see how. And I'm going to give you a situational +5 to that because there's more than half of them that are down.
Okay. Intimidate. Oh.
Can I join in as banter and try and help?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make a roll. What is it? It's against a 10, isn't it, to help?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
+5?
Yeah, +5.
24.
20.
I'm not feeling very intimidating.
So what happens is...
No, 25, yeah. Okay.
25. All right.
Yeah.
So you say that, and I think that the reputation as the priest of fate, you know, the seriousness with which you've said that, it makes them think that this is an inevitability, that things will collapse and that, you know, this fight has lost. So unfortunately, they can't actually do anything right now because they're choking so badly. Because I think, let me check the reading of...
it's 1 minute.
They choke for 2. They got 2 more rounds of choking before they can do anything. But they're kind of putting their hands up as best they can to try and, you know, indicate that they're going to be surrendering. So then that was Zakros. Here we go. Oh, what am I doing? Boom, boom. There we go. So then next up is Voldan. We can drop out of combat now. Like, they're not going to fight anymore. It's just a question of whether they're going to actually recover in time.
Yeah. Okay. So so I would just drop my rifle and walk to the, I don't know whether it is a corpse or just this Gargax is down, whatever. Yep. So if he's not dead, I will just throw him out, and if he's dead, I will throw him out as well.
No, he's quite dead.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. So let me see.
Yes, I told you so, and just throw him out.
Well,
out of the shop, so we can continue shopping.
I'm going to put my put my helmet up on my armor, and then go and loot the bodies.
Okay, that is a good call. So what?
Because I've only got 2 credits, so I need some money for cigarettes and.
I know. That's what I think they're going to pay for our smokes. They're paying for our shopping trip.
All right. So what you guys will gain from them is. So they have their tactical semi-auto pistol on them, and you can loot 3 of them. And they have 27 small arm rounds on them. Mm-hmm. So that's in total, what is that? 27, 60, 81 rounds in total. So 81 small arm rounds, 3 survival knives, 3 Kestis battle glove, and then a flight. Each of them has flight suit station wear. And given this part of Absalon Station, I don't think you need to worry yourself by, you know, getting a weird eye from the Lashunta teenager if you're going to strip these corpses and steal their stuff.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna like take their money out of their wallets and buy cigarettes with it, right? In front of the teenager.
Yeah, they actually don't.
I think we'll leave the non-dead ones with their clothes, but we can take the others, I think.
Okay, so then
what was the boss wearing?
One station wear flight suit. I'll send you guys an email with all the stuff on it too, just for the sake of knowing. Dargax had Freebooter Armor 1 on him. He had a static arc pistol with 1 battery, and he had a tactical baton.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's an operative weapon.
So
I want to pray to the Lady of Graves. Yeah. That she takes the souls of the dead and that the bodies may never get up again. and I would like one of these analog guns, just in case Goba does a stunt with the smoking grenades again that I can. Because my laser gun is not really helpful if there's smoke around. So that's all actually.
And for Goba you can have that smoke grenade back. We're going to assume you've got one. Just because this was we're not going to make you spend the whatever it is, the cost of the smoke grenade just for the sake of this, combat test scene. So the scene ends, I guess, with you guys, you're looting the body, you're stealing all the shit off of Dark Axe, and then you finally bring up, somewhat bloodied with all your junk armor has a pretty long duration too, Brent. Do you keep it on or are you letting it drop?
When we leave the store, I'll let it drop. It looked kind of conspicuous. I look like a mobile convenience store.
Yes, okay. So as you're walking out, I guess you guys go up, you pay for your stuff. The Lashunta kid is about to ask you about the stuff that's all in your junk armor. And then he looks down at the bodies and thinks better of it and just lets you walk out with whatever you've got on you.
Did you get any cash from them?
I think there's probably just token. Nothing that's going to carry over into the campaign proper.
No, just enough we can buy smokes and all.
Yeah, it'll be for or something and whatnot. And of course, as you're walking out, Tom stops concentrating, or not stops concentrating, but ends the concentration on his junk armor. And as all that shit drops down, we see Goba's hand kind of snap out and grab the space macaroni and cheese that was making up his armor.
It's the only thing I came in for.
As you guys are disappearing into the fog, we will see you guys. I guess the camera goes back onto the stuffer shack, and the teenage kid, I guess, is just trying to figure out how to clean this up. But let's end the session with some XP, though, because why not? You guys put the work in. Let's give you some experience points for this. So hold on here. Where is section?
Brent.
Mm-hmm.
Tom. Which was it? Brent or Tom? The character's name.
The character's name is Tom. Sorry.
Tom. You can heal your stamina points when you rest for 10 minutes and spend 1 resolve point. Then you have all your stamina points back.
Yeah, I figure probably when we get back to the ship. Or when we're on a subway or whatever, or however we get back to the ship.
Yeah.
There's all the popular, fast food places in here. So if you need to stop by a subway as well, you can.
Oh, I meant the underground, the proper subway to get back to the ship.
I'm just being a smart ass.
Okay. Or a subway too.
Yes.
Eat smart or eat fresh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hear the total XP for tonight. 5. Plus, well, you guys don't have different XP levels either, I suppose, so you're all waiting for the same amount. So it doesn't really... All right, guys. So you earned a whopping 320 XP today.
Woo.
So at least you're going in with a little bit of XP under your belt. What is level 2? Is it 1,000 or is it 2,000?
1,300.
1,300. Okay. You're right on either account. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to drop out of Roll20, which Roll20 seems to keep wanting me to do anyway. But that's great. So we got our Starfinders together now. That is awesome. So I'm going to stop sharing, put the camera back on. Terrific. All right. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for session 0 of our Against the Aeon Throne session. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session or regarding the system, Or if I fucked anything up and you want to correct me on the rules, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. You can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, or you can shoot me an email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. Also, you may notice that in the description of this video, there is a link to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we're running on the channel this year. Last year, we were able, with the generosity of some of the viewers and players, to raise $1,000 for the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, which is a really terrific organization that provides both direct benefit and advocacy for children living in high-need circumstances. If you enjoyed the session, if you enjoyed the channel, I just ask that you consider clicking through and learning a little more about the Heroes Save Villages campaign. There's some neat options for rewards in there for different levels of contribution, including adding an NPC to the campaign or signing up for me to run a game for you. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So guys, thank you so much for joining me for this first session. I really look forward to seeing what trouble these heroes get up to in their struggles against the Aeon Throne. So Brent, Ingolf, Kip, Tom, and Mo, thank you so much for playing today, guys. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed hearing about your characters.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Would you
guys.
like to actually play Starfinder?
Yes. And for next time, we will be actually kicking off the Against the Aeon Throne campaign. So you will see us again in 2 weeks' time. Until then, thanks very much for watching, and happy gaming.